Right now, someone less skilled than you is winning, not because they're better, but because they seem certain. They talk like they belong, act like they deserve, and the world believes them. Meanwhile, you hesitate, waiting for the perfect timing, the perfect words, the perfect confidence that never seems to arrive. And as you wait, someone else claims what could have been yours. Confidence isn't just a feeling, it's a weapon. And if you don't wield it, someone else will. Centuries ago, Machiavelli understood that the bold often succeed even without mastery, while the hesitant stay behind no matter how capable. Power doesn't reward the best, it rewards the most certain. This moment isn't about motivation, it's about control. Control over hesitation, over your voice, over your identity. This is where you stop asking, "Is this okay?" and start deciding what is. Because you weren't born uncertain. You were conditioned that way, trained by repetition, reward, and approval. You were told to be polite, agreeable, and liked. Slowly, the man inside you was replaced with a servant, a version of you that lives to please, that apologizes before speaking, that flinches at rejection. That inner voice, the one that hesitates and second guesses, that's not you. That's programming. That's the servant. And unless you kill him, he will rule you. Machiavelli never asked for permission. He acted. He didn't wait to be understood. He expected others to catch up. He didn't beg for power. He seized it. Because asking is what the powerless do. So your transformation starts with inversion. Every time you feel small, expand. Every time you want to explain, pause. Every time you want to apologize, stare. Dangerous confidence doesn't grow from readiness. It grows from defiance. You move faster. You take up space. You speak as if your words are conclusions, not suggestions. Stop softening your tone. Stop nodding. Stop shrinking to fit. Confidence isn't just a mindset, it's an identity. And that identity is forged in rebellion, not against the world, but against the weak version of yourself. Your first rule: if it makes you small, kill it. A thought, a habit, a relationship, anything that shrinks you, eliminate it. If it makes you hesitate, confront it. If it makes you weak, deny it. If it tries to be liked, laugh at it. Because the world doesn't reward nice men, it uses them. Nice men are compliant. They're predictable. They get used, replaced, and forgotten. The powerful are not nice. They're precise, measured, controlled. So stop chasing approval. You don't need permission or validation. You need only one thing: the willingness to be feared, not by others, but by your former self. Because once you destroy the servant, the ruler awakens. And rulers don't need to announce themselves. They're felt before they're heard. They walk into rooms and shift the energy without a word. Machiavelli saw this in royal courts. True power wasn't always on the throne. Sometimes it stood silently in the corner. The man who spoke least often controlled the most, because silence creates gravity. You think dominance comes from talking. It doesn't. Talking makes you predictable. The quiet man is the threat. He doesn't seek approval. He observes. He calculates. So when you walk into a room, stop looking for acceptance. Observe. Watch others scramble to prove themselves while you remain composed. Move slower. Speak less. Let your posture speak first. Predators don't rush. They wait until the strike is inevitable. Most people don't realize how desperately they try to impress. Fast talking, nervous laughter, over-explaining. But when you move with calm precision, when you speak with weight, people recalibrate to your presence. You don't need to demand attention, you command it. Confidence at this level isn't loud. It's gravitational. It's when others can't stop thinking about your composure long after you've left the room. Carry yourself like you've already won, not arrogantly, but with quiet certainty. You're not competing because you've already chosen yourself. If they respect you, good. If they don't, even better. Because indifference to approval is the final form of power. The goal is not to be liked, it's to be remembered, and when you speak, your words should sound like decisions. People shouldn't analyze your sentences, they should feel them. The tone beneath the words tells them exactly where you stand in the hierarchy. This is how a Machiavellian mind operates, not through noise, but through control. So from this moment forward, understand this. Confidence isn't about believing in yourself. It's about behaving like you no longer need belief. It's about silence, presence, precision, and an unshakable conviction that you belong no matter where you are. Commanding speech and psychological gravity words are weapons, but most people wield them like dull knives, soft, hesitant, apologetic. You can hear it in their tone, the rising pitch at the end of every sentence, the nervous laughter, the endless, I think, maybe, I'm not sure. They speak as if they're apologizing for existing. That's not communication, that's surrender. Machiavelli understood something simple but deadly. Power isn't always in what you say, it's in how you say it. When you speak with certainty, people don't analyze your logic, they absorb your conviction. Humans are emotional before they are rational. They don't follow truth, they follow certainty. So if you sound sure, they assume you are right. If you sound hesitant, they assume you're not worth hearing. The Machiavellian voice is deliberate, grounded, and final. Every word carries the weight of someone who expects to be obeyed. You don't speak to invite opinions, you speak to declare outcomes. Slow down, lower your tone, let silence frame your words. You don't need to fill every pause, let others drown in it. Silence after a strong statement isn't awkward, it's dominant. It challenges others to respond, and most won't dare. Because silence is psychological control. The most dangerous man in a room isn't the one talking, it's the one observing quietly, listening, collecting information while others reveal their intentions. When you speak less, you force people to fill the gaps, and the more they talk, the more they expose. So here's the rule: speak less, mean more. Every time you open your mouth, make it count. No filler, no softeners, no verbal exits like I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. Or, if that makes sense. Those are escape hatches for the uncertain. Burn them. Say what you mean and leave it there. Let others wrestle with your silence. When you speak like that, something shifts. People start to measure their words around you. They stop interrupting. They lower their voices. They unconsciously adjust to your rhythm. You've created gravity. Because real confidence doesn't compete for space, it bends space. The goal isn't to dominate others, it's to project such internal control that they can't help but align to your certainty. You stop trying to be right and start sounding undeniable. You're not trying to convince, you're stating what already is. And when someone challenges you, don't explain, don't debate, don't defend. Defensiveness signals insecurity. Instead, redirect. Say calmly, "That's incorrect." Then stop talking. The moment you refuse to justify yourself, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability breeds power. It makes others feel uncertain while you remain unshaken. This is what Machiavelli meant when he wrote that rulers should appear merciful, faithful, humane, and religious, but be ready to act otherwise when required. Your words, your tone, your silence, all tools in the art of control. You don't win conversations by being louder. You win by speaking in a way that makes people feel your words are final. A powerful tone doesn't rush. It doesn't rise. It doesn't seek validation. It sits low, calm, grounded, like a man who already knows he's right. This isn't arrogance. It's psychological mastery. When you speak from that place, people listen differently. They feel the weight of your presence even after you stop talking, because confidence isn't noise, it's gravity. And the most magnetic people on earth, from world leaders to elite performers, all understand this. They project calm command, not through dominance, but through deliberate stillness. Barack Obama's slow cadence, Steve Jobs' calculated pauses, Keanu Reeves' quiet restraint. These are examples of confidence that doesn't need volume. So start practicing the art of deliberate speech. Lower your pitch. A deeper tone signals authority and calm. Slow your tempo. Rushing reveals nerves. Measured pacing projects control. Hold eye contact. It's not a stare down, it's ownership of attention. Cut filler words. Replace like, I think, with purposeful pauses. And above all, mean every word you say. When you talk, imagine you're signing your name to every sentence. No retraction, no backtracking. Because the moment you speak with uncertainty, you invite doubt. But when you speak with certainty, even silence obeys you. From this point forward, stop speaking to be heard. Speak as if your words define reality. That's how kings, generals, and legends move the world without raising their voice. Understand this, power isn't loud, it's quiet. It's the stillness of someone who no longer reacts, no longer flinches, no longer explains. Because explanation is a form of begging. The ruler doesn't beg to be understood. He commands understanding through presence. And when your speech matches your stillness, when your tone carries weight without effort, you stop being someone who talks about power. You become someone who is power. Your voice, your silence, your words, they all merge into one truth. You no longer seek permission to exist. You decide, and the world adjusts. Mastering emotional control and the fortress mind. You can walk tall, speak well, and move with presence, but if your emotions still belong to everyone else, you're not powerful. You're exposed. True strength isn't measured by how loud or confident you look. It's measured by how little others can move you. Most men fail here. They build the posture, the voice, the image, but one insult, one rejection, one silence, and they crumble. That's not power. That's dependency. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He didn't fear his enemies. He feared dependence, emotional, financial, or social. He didn't trust affection. He trusted control. Because once people know what moves you, they know how to manipulate you. And the moment they can predict you, they can control you. So your goal isn't to be emotionless. It's to be unreachable. To feel everything but act on nothing unless it serves your purpose. Someone insults you? Don't explain. Don't react. Observe. Ask yourself, what's their motive? What weakness are they trying to expose? Someone praises you? Don't melt. Don't glow. Ask, why now? What do they want? Someone ignores you? Don't panic. Grow colder. Let silence work for you. Because silence, when used correctly, becomes your sharpest weapon. It creates discomfort. It makes others reveal their anxiety while you remain still. This is how you become psychologically untouchable, by mastering the invisible war within. When someone tries to provoke you and you show no visible change, you become terrifying. Not because you're dangerous outwardly, but because you're unreadable. You're no longer predictable, and unpredictability is power. Most people are easy to control. Tell them they're not enough, and they'll overcompensate. Compliment them, and they'll chase you. Withdraw attention, and they'll beg for it back. That's programming. And until you break it, you'll always be someone's tool. To break it, you must kill 3 things. 1. The need to be understood. 2. The fear of rejection. 3. The habit of reacting emotionally. First, kill the need to be understood. It's the root of weakness. The endless explaining, clarifying, defending, all of it comes from wanting others to validate you. Stop it. You don't exist to be understood. You exist to create impact. Let others misunderstand you. It's a sign you've risen beyond their level of awareness. Second, kill the fear of rejection. Rejection doesn't define your value. It reveals theirs. The Machiavellian mind doesn't chase acceptance. It controls access. Don't wait to be invited. Don't seek inclusion. Instead, become the one whose presence is a privilege. When people sense that access to you is limited, they start to value it. Scarcity creates gravity. And third, destroy emotional reactivity. Emotions are fuel, not orders. Anger, doubt, envy. These aren't signals to act, they're resources to refine. When someone doubts you, don't argue, execute. When someone disrespects you, don't confront, outperform. Use emotion strategically, never impulsively. Because power doesn't come from suppressing emotion, it comes from owning it. You feel everything, but you let nothing dictate your actions. This is the core of psychological control. Your mind becomes a fortress. A fortress doesn't panic when attacked. It doesn't chase every noise outside its walls. It watches, it plans, and it responds only when the timing is perfect. When your mind becomes that calm, measured, impenetrable, you stop being manipulated. You start manipulating reality itself. And here's the truth. When people realize they can't move you emotionally, they stop trying. They'll test you at first, with disrespect, flattery, silence. But when every attempt fails, they start treating you differently. They respect you, even fear you, because you've shown them something rare: control. You are no longer reactive. You are calculated. When others panic, you observe. When they brag, you study. When they insult, you extract data. Because everything people say, every reaction, every gesture, is information. And information is leverage. Machiavelli once wrote that men are driven by two things: love or fear. You can't force love, but you can command respect by becoming unreadable, unmovable, and unbreakable. Stop explaining, stop seeking, stop reacting. From this point forward, your calm will become your currency. Your stillness will become your signal. Your lack of reaction will become your reputation. Because the world doesn't respect emotion, it respects mastery. And when you master your emotions, you control not just yourself, but everyone who depends on your reaction. This is the art of psychological gravity. When others revolve around you, uncertain, cautious, measuring every word, while you remain perfectly centered. You're not cold because you don't feel. You're cold because you choose when to feel. And that choice, that control, is what separates men who serve from men who rule. Turning rejection into power, and the final transformation. Rejection isn't the enemy, it's the mirror. It shows you where your power doesn't reach yet. Most people take rejection as a wound, but the Machiavellian mind sees it as data. Every no, every silence, every door closed, it's a signal revealing who values you, who underestimates you, and who no longer deserves access. Understand this: rejection is never personal. It's positional. When someone rejects you, they simply believe they can survive without you. That's not an insult. That's information. Now you know exactly where you stand and how to reposition. So when rejection hits, don't react. Reposition, recalibrate, rebuild. Step 1. Never appear affected. The moment you show pain, they win. You're not being stoic for pride. You're protecting your legend. A powerful man doesn't flinch. He evolves. You weren't rejected. They were disqualified from your future. Their absence becomes your advantage. Machiavelli once wrote that men must be either treated generously or destroyed, for they take revenge for slight injuries, but not for severe ones. Translation: don't waste emotion on small wounds. Don't seek petty revenge. Instead, erase them strategically. Make their presence irrelevant. Step 2. Withdraw your presence like a weapon. Disappearance creates value. What people take for granted gains weight only in its absence. When you vanish, no dramatic exits, no emotional speeches, the silence starts to speak for you. While they wonder where you went, you're busy upgrading. Let your absence sting louder than your words ever could. Step 3. Rewrite the narrative. Rejection only hurts when it looks like you were chasing something. So shift the frame, not for them, but for yourself. You weren't denied. You decided. You were testing the field, observing behavior, assessing discernment. They failed the test. Now, their no becomes a filter that purified your circle. Step 4. Convert rejection into control. Rejection clarifies where your power doesn't yet dominate. That clarity is priceless. Use it to refine your image, sharpen your presence, and amplify your value. The next time they see you, they'll feel what they lost, not because you said a word, but because your evolution became undeniable. And when they try to return, and they will, don't reject them. Simply exist beyond their reach. That's real control. Silent, permanent, elegant. Step 5. Weaponize your comeback. The Machiavellian doesn't seek revenge. Revenge is emotional. Control is strategic. You reappear only when your success is so visible, so unshakable that they can't avoid it. You don't gloat. You don't hint. You simply exist at a higher level. The same people who doubted you will now hesitate to speak your name, not because they fear you, but because they remember how wrong they were. You see, this isn't about ego. It's about evolution. You don't seek to hurt. You seek to transcend. When you understand rejection through this lens, it becomes your greatest teacher. It shows you what must die: the approval-seeking, the dependency, the emotional noise. Each rejection is a reminder to tighten your discipline, deepen your silence, and fortify your control. This is where transformation becomes complete. You stop entering rooms hoping to be chosen. You start walking in like you belong there, because you do. You no longer chase validation. You radiate certainty. Your silence carries more authority than most people's words. And when others try to provoke you, praise you, test you, or ignore you, nothing works. You remain the same: calm, cold, calculated. Eventually, they stop trying to control you because they realize something terrifying. You are the one person they cannot move. That's the final form of confidence. Not arrogance, not loudness, but unreachability. You've become the man who doesn't react, doesn't explain, doesn't chase. You've become the man who decides. The servant is gone. The ruler has arrived. Your posture, your tone, your silence, they no longer signal insecurity. They command presence. You've learned that power isn't found in noise. It's found in control, not in being understood, but in being felt. You're no longer shaped by the world. You shape the world around you. Rejection, it's just redirection. Failure, just data. Pain, just a forge. Everything that once made you flinch now fuels you, because you no longer chase peace, you chase clarity. You no longer crave acceptance, you command respect. You no longer react, you decide when and how to move. This is where you become untouchable. They can't provoke you. They can't tempt you. They can't predict you, because you belong to no one, and that makes you unforgettable. Legends aren't born through approval. They're built through silence, cold clarity, and ruthless consistency. You don't need to announce your transformation. The world will feel it, in your tone, your eyes, your stillness. You've become the man they whisper about when you leave the room, the one who doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't explain, the one who sets the standard. So remember this: rejection wasn't your ending. It was your awakening. Every no burned away the part of you that needed permission. Every setback was a sharpening. Every silence was a test, one you passed. Now, you don't just project confidence, you embody dominance. Not through arrogance, but through calm control. Because this was never about self-help. This was war. War against hesitation, against weakness, against the inner servant that kept you small. And now, you're the weapon. If this message struck a chord, don't just watch, act. Release your hesitation. Rebuild your confidence. Reclaim your control. Like this video if you're done being predictable. Comment with what you're letting go of today, the approval, the fear, or the hesitation. Subscribe if you're ready to become the kind of man who doesn't chase, he commands. Because this isn't about motivation anymore. It's about transformation. And your new legend starts now.